Hello and welcome! Today we're working with the Gentleman's Study Concentric Cut and Emboss dies. This is the information sheet that comes with them, and this one is my favorite. I love how they use the pattern paper to create the large background, and that's what I'm going to be using doing in the one that we're going to be making on today. And the rest of them are just great for inspiration. These dies are part of an AutoShip. This is the second one in the set, and then this the third one, and then that will be the last one in the set. Not sure of their names right now. And these are the dies individually placed out, what they look like. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So there are 4 dies in the set. And we're going to be cutting out the first die out of matte gold foil, the second one out of pattern paper, once they're all cut out, this is what they look like. I ended up cutting out that smaller one out of the center of the pattern paper so as not to waste another sheet of paper, and we'll be working with that embossed one in just a second. We're going to make 2 cards on today, and one of them is going to be a girl version and one of them is going to be a boy version, as you can see. So this one's going to be more pink and maroon colored versus the other one is blue and gold, and I'm cutting them out the exact same, so all the pieces are identical. We're going to do some partial die cutting right now. I am using a scrap piece of paper to do this. I'm taking one of the dies from the Gentleman's Slimline and placing it on my scrap piece of paper just to line it up to see where I need to place my other die. This die came from the Gentleman's Study original set because I need something that will make like an outer layer or a shadow layer for this set, because I really wanted to have an extra piece that I didn't have just to make it pop a little bit more. So you're going to see me line this up on the outer part of my cutting mat, and the plate is only going to sit on part of this die and paper. So everything that's within the sandwich will get cut, and everything that is not in the sandwich will not be cut. This technique is an excellent way to get a new die shape out of dies you already have. So in order to get my shadow layer, what I need to do is get the die that I already have that I want the shape of and place it over the top of my partially die cut scrap of paper. I'm just lining it up, making sure it's in the center. And now I'm going to take my pencil and go over it and outline the outside of it. Going over it with the pencil and making the outline is going to ensure that when I cut out this shape, that I'm going to be able to get the border that I'm looking for, because I don't want it to be the exact shape of the die. I want it to be a shadow layer, so it's going to need to have a little bit more. So I'm not cutting on the pencil line, I'm just using it as my guide to cut a little bit of a border outside of it. So if you're ever in need of a shape and you don't have it, maybe just look in some of the dies that you already have and don't buy any more to see if you can make what you need out of what you already have. I need to use this technique more than I do already because it really works. And this is what I have. So here's my shadow layer. Now I'm going to emboss the impression dies. If any of you got the impression die set, you know that there's inks that come with that, and there's ways that you can also emboss them, and that's the easiest way to use them. So just placing them on a matte gold foil piece of cardstock and running it through the Empress machine, you automatically are going to get a beautiful impressed die out of that without having to do any effort. So if you have the Anna Griffin impression die set, definitely use them as just embossed dies. They get great detail. Alright, so here we are. We have all of our pieces and we can put our card together. So my card base is 9 inches by 4 inches. Well, it's 9 by 8, scored in the middle at 4 and folded to create the base of that. And all of these layers are just going to get stacked on top of each other. Now, I embossed a layer that was actually supposed to go under the blue pattern layer, and I forgot to put it on. So you guys will see me put that on later on. I'll have to take the whole thing apart. And so I am showing the backs of the cardstock because some of them are going to have foam pads on them and others are going to have glue on them. And I'm just showing you which ones have which because when I stacked this up with all foam pads, it was so big, you guys. And so I said there's no possible way I'm making a card this thick. So I took some of them off and put glue. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And then just to make it a little bit more manageable so that if you gave it to somebody, it would look really nice, but it wouldn't look too propped up. These little embellishments actually came from Create 6, well, the Create Crop at Home, and so they were in the Gentleman's Study. Actually, all of these papers, I believe, came out of the Create Crop at Home. And since they were stickers, I just partially peeled off the sticker backing to place them on the card. These also came from that same kit. So in the Create Crop at Home, there was something called Handsome, and we made these scrapbook pages, and we also got embellishments that went with the scrapbook pages, and all of these embellishments that I'm using on this card today came from out of there. I'm adding these little swirlies and I'm just aligning them on each corner to create some movement in the card. And then this is the piece that I'm going to set my sentiment on the top, and it says "You're the best." And I decided to put it in a different direction just so that the card's not so vertical looking. And so far this is coming out really nicely. I'm really loving the way that it's looking, but we are not finished yet. So there's a lot of different types of embellishments you can put on masculine cards, them fishing or playing golf. But I don't know anyone who fishes or plays golf, so I decided to use the football because I know a lot of guys love to watch football. And so that's like, to me, like a very universal one. I think this is where I decided, hey, there's something missing in this card. And I'm like, okay, now I have to take it apart and apply the missing piece. So what I ended up doing was I took the original Gentleman's Study embossing folder and embossed the Slimline background layer so that I can use it in the background, but I had forgotten to put it on. And so I'm gonna put it on right now. This is what the folder looks like. I'm sorry for the glare, but it's called Gentleman's Study 3D Embossing Folder, and it basically came in the finishing school box with the rest of the embellishments and dies for that set. And so I did put this, I did not put foam pads on this. I just put glue on it. I don't think I show you guys that. So I just glued it straight down. I love the geometric pattern, and it really goes with the Gentleman's Study, of course, because it was part of it. But I also had to run it through twice because that embossing folder is only 5x7. So I had to run it through part of the paper and then flip it over and run it through a second time. I also thought that the airplane just set this off nicely and just gave a great finishing touch to this card. When my husband saw it, he wanted it, so I gave it to him. So that just says that this must have been a really good card. Now let's see if we can top that, or at least match it, using our feminine version of the Gentleman's Study Slimline card. I'm using the same size card base, And all of the die cuts that I showed in the beginning, they're the exact same ones as we used on the male version, just in a different color palette. So we have a really pretty pink, dark pink, and then we're placing a light pink over the top. Yes, it is crooked. Forgive me. I'm sorry. And I'm going to layer all of these on top. And look, this time I didn't forget the shadow layer. Yay me. Good job, Shar. Okay, and this is what we're doing. So I don't think I ever did a video using my Flourish cut and emboss folders, but here one of them is making an appearance, and I probably should make a video with those. And I'm embellishing the corners with these Flourish cut and emboss die cuts, and it's kind of gonna look like it's starting at the top and ending at the bottom. So I'm using the top of it at the top corner and then the bottom of it on the bottom corner. And then just keeping on layering. This is a piece of flocked paper that I have had for a very long time. It did not come in any of the recent set. It was like a 12 by 12 I cut down. These colors look so good together. I don't think I've ever used or done a maroon and pink or raspberry and pink card before. So this is going out of my comfort zone, using some colors I never used. But I think they go together really nicely, and it's lining up really great. Once again, I'm placing this in a different direction because I didn't want it to be so vertical. You can do so much with Slimline cards because there's so much real estate to work with. I love it. All right, so now we're gonna use flowers, of course. And these flowers are from the Painted Garden Decoupage card making kit. Yes, I loved that one. That one is really a great one. But these flowers go really good with the color palette. And I just put them all in a row, 3 of them, and that is going to complete our card. So here's our finished feminine gentleman study, and then our masculine gentleman study. Let me know which one you like best. It should be a versus, the male versus the feminine or the female version. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye.